Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the powerful conversation with Christina Lecuyer. In our last episode, if you haven't, that's
all one sentence, yeah.
That was all one sentence, but you know what? It's okay. Perfect is boring. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. Y'all, if you're listening on the Apple, it's going to put things out of order when you go back. So just, click in.
It does weird stuff like that, right?
It does. It doesn't show you.
They just revamped the whole app, and then they decided that the most recent is the one that they're going to play first. Mm-hmm. No, I want it the other way around.
Yeah, I want it to show me the last time I've listened.
Yeah.
And then play in order, because everyone's podcast does anyways.
Come on, Apple, get your shit together.
Well, anyways, let's talk about this for a second, because aside from I'm not excited about Apple, but what I am excited about, y'all, I put together this thing. Brad I don't even think he knows about it yet, but in a couple weeks, I'm going to do a free webinar, because I have been obsessed this year with hacking, like time hacking routines. How do I get more done without being tired? And what I have discovered is all the things that we know about creating habits is wrong. It's totally wrong. And so I'm doing a free webinar to talk about the things that you're doing that are actually causing your habits to not be created, and what you should do instead. Totally going to be free. It's coming up, and you can get on if you get on our wait list for our upcoming challenge, don't worry if you don't want to sign up for the challenge, I get it. But if you get on that wait list, I'm going to let all those people know about that free webinar, because it goes along with our challenge. So it's a free webinar, 100withme.com, 100withme.com. Get on that wait list, and you'll be the first to sign up for the free webinar.
That's exciting.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I can't wait. I want to know how my habits and everything I know about habits are not correct.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I've been studying with BJ Fogg. Every Thursday I have lunch with him. I mean, there's other people on there too, but not as many as you think. And he is the founder of the behavior sciences for Stanford. Right. And he has this amazing book. And I've just been studying with the book and with him and taking his trainings. And I'm just really stoked, because we too often, especially because I know, ladies, you'll listen to this, we think there's something wrong with us when we can't do something we want to do. But it's not you. Not fun. Not fun. So anyways, all right. So do we have an audience question? That's what I'm excited about.
We totally do. And this one, I swear y'all have it out for me. Today's audience question is, what are your morning routines? Well, and I think you'll find that I'm going to win this question.
Well, there's no winning the question. But also, okay, in your defense, sir, some people have morning routines, some people have night routines, some people have both. I think you have a night routine more than a
You're
morning
very
routine.
Gracious. Thank you. I was willing to walk under the bus on this one.
Well, share yours and I'll share mine.
So this morning's routine was getting a phone call saying your alarm is ringing and you need to turn it off, and then going, I need to do something. Got up, ran right to my computer. Didn't even get coffee.
I will say this. I was meditating. I was doing this breathwork class, and I could hear his alarm down the hall and through 2 doors. And it was really frustrating me, because I was trying just to focus on my breath work and just focus on it. And I was like,
I'm here for you, babe. I'm here. You're growing.
Yeah. So I was like, look, I just needed to stop. And then I don't mind. So I just hit the favorites on my phone and let it ring. And then when you answered, I'm like, your alarm is going off and it's annoying. And then I hung up. anyways, I did notice that you went straight to your desk without a coffee. So yeah, your morning routine is not really something that you have set up yet.
Yeah, I keep trying over the years. The only time I've ever had a legit morning routine was when I was going to a yoga class at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting window. I did it for almost 3 years where I was getting up super early.
Yes, and you went 3 times a week in the morning. I will say your routine after that yoga class was more set in stone than before the yoga class.
Well, because I was working for someone else. I had to be in the office, all the things. And so in order for me to get my class in, I was getting, before the office. So it was definitely driven by, being in an office. And then as soon as I left that position, actually, it was a combination. I kept that for a while, and then the class moved locations and times and all the things, and everything just went out the window.
Everything out the window. It's okay. You know what you should do? Come to my free webinar.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
You're going to come to my free webinar, and I'm going to teach you
all right,
how to have that.
Tell us about your morning routine.
My morning routine is sick. Okay, so...
sick in a good way.
I love a morning routine, and I have dabbled a lot in a night routine, and I have a pretty good one, but it does vary because of the time it starts, because just dinner time affects that. So my morning routine is much stronger. I get up, and as soon as I put my feet on the ground, I say, today is going to be an amazing day. And then I...
Do you say this out loud?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I just say it to myself. I don't want you to interrupt. Because you'll be like, what are you saying? And I'll be like, is it going to be amazing? I just got interrupted on my amazing day.
But you should, I guess we can talk about your amazing alarm clock later.
Oh, so, okay. Actually, it does start with that. So I have a sunrise simulation alarm clock because I was hitting snooze too much. And I was never someone who hit snooze pre-COVID. And now...
I thought you were going to say pre-Brad. But yeah, we'll go with pre-COVID.
No, pre-COVID, I never hit snooze. The alarm would go off. And I think it also was maybe had to do with it was a studio apartment. The neighbors could hear the alarm, the whole thing. So I would just get up, and now no one cares. And he sleeps through his alarm, as we know. So anyways, I randomly bought this crappy sunrise simulation alarm clock, and I literally, the first day I used it, I didn't hit snooze. A, I didn't know how. B, the sunrise, I just woke up to the sunrise, and because we sleep in the darkness for Brad, it was so good for me. So I got rid of that when I got a better one, and I have a sunset simulator and a sunrise simulator. So I fall asleep so fast, and I wake up, and that wakes me up. I usually wake up before the alarm actually goes up because the light is getting brighter and brighter, and I just get up. Then I drink some water, brush my teeth, and walk the dogs. And I used to walk them for about an hour. Now it's about 30 minutes because it's too hot. That's on them. I could keep going, but I got to get their pads in the side. And then I either do a Pilates workout or a weight training workout before I have coffee. And my breakfast, where I read a book while I'm eating my breakfast so that I have something to do. I can actually get through a book because that was important to me. And then after I take my shower, get dressed for the day, and I come to my desk, I write down my goals for the day on a piece of paper before I start working. That is my morning routine.
And when I get up, she goes, "I'm winning the day."
I know, I do. I say
she said, "I had a full day already."
I had a full day already. A full day.
Yeah, you definitely did. It sounds like you had a full day. I didn't even know you did half those things.
I know you didn't. And you know what? When my father and brother leave the house, I'll go back to my other morning routine, and I can't wait because I'll get to do all of that alone.
Yeah, and with spinning or whatever.
Yeah, I'll get to spin again, all the things. So anyways, great question. Thanks for sending it in. You can send your questions in to Beit Pod on Instagram, whatever you want to know, and then we put it in the lineup.
Love it.
All right. So what's next, love?
All right. Let's talk about the last episode with Christina Lecuyer. Christina is a powerful, gregarious confidence and success coach. She spent 10 years recreating her self-identity after leaving a career as a professional golfer and model. Her charisma is contagious. Her delivery is concrete. It's no wonder she speaks from stage. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about if you've already listened to the last episode. I thought it was a really powerful interview, and it had so many takeaways.
Yeah, I really, I mean, I had so much fun talking to her. I've known her for a while, and she is a force. And I really loved when she was talking about hitting rock bottom in her life. She asked herself, like, how can people who have less than you be happier than you? And you know, I think a lot of times when we're kind of down on our luck or down on ourselves or feeling like everything is happening to us, it's not easy to have a question like that you can like get in observation mode. But I love that she did, because it totally changed the trajectory of what she's working on.
Yeah, I think it was also, she was talking about the end of her golfing career where she was clearly, you know, she was a pro golfer, right? And then what happens after that, and trying to like reimagine herself and understand who she was, you know, at that point, because her entire mindset and identity was wrapped up in golf. And then she left there and was like, why am I not happy? And she was looking around like, I have all the things, quote unquote, the things that the world says I should pursue, but I'm not happy. How come?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was, it's also fascinating. It's something that it crosses my mind every single time we're in Cambodia. And you see, you know, a family living in a village with, you know, basically nothing. And they like literally have an entire family living on a boat that is 10 feet long, you know, and it's like
floating in the water. They live on that, and
3 or 4 people living on a plank, basically. It's
and they're
mind-boggling.
Smiling, and they're waving, and they're laughing, and they're playing in the water, and you know,
they fish. That's what they do.
No, I love that you brought that up. I think it's, well, you know, also I think so many of us hold on to an identity, and we struggle when it's changing. And because who are we without that? And then, you know, I think I love that she asked herself this question, because if she was, you know, all of us at some point are going to transition from what we think we were. You're going to retire someday, then you're, you know, like you're going to go from single to married, or reverse that. And so I think it's really,
I guess ironically, change is constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So anyways, but I agree. I do. Man, you made me miss Cambodia. There is so much joy in the people there, and they don't have as much as we do.
The other moment that happens to me every single time is when we're driving back from Bantasrai Temple, and we stop on the side of the road with the vendors who make the coconut sugar, the palm sugar.
Palm sugar.
And you know, similar thing where, you know, it's a whole village living along the side of a road that's 100% dependent on, you know, tourism, basically, or maybe they grow some rice in the back, but like, you know, they have one well and one generator that supports an entire, you know, village of people who live on these tiny huts, and yet when you meet them, they're full of smiles and happy, and it's incredible.
And they're so excited to show you what they have. They're so excited to give you the tour. I remember like one little girl showed us, like, there's this hole in the ground with a stick. And remember this stick? And it had a handle. And our tour guide was like, do you know what that is? And we were looking at it, and we realized it's how the little kids learn to walk, because they don't have tables. So to like put their hands on. So they have this stick in the ground, and it's got a little handle for them to hold on to, and they can walk in circles.
Well, they do have tables, but I don't know how we do it here. But what they did, it allows the kid to walk in a circle around the stick, right? So the stick the center is pointing the ground, and the kid can hold a handle that's sticking out, and they just walk in a circle, and that's how they learn how to walk.
Well, we saw our neighbor's baby. She had her hands on the table, and she walked all the way around the table.
Oh, like the one with the wheels and the rolling.
Yeah,
right.
But we didn't have. But they're outside because they work outside for a living. They don't. They don't hang out in their house and watch Netflix.
Yeah, they don't have baby toys the way we think
No,
of baby toys.
no.
Yeah.
Anyways, so off on a tangent of Cambodia. Anyways, but anyway, I love that she shared her rock bottom story because I think it's so important for us to hear those kinds of stories consistently, so you know that, wow, people hit this place and then they pivot, and it's a great from that spot is where the growth came and her force came from. So anyways,
yeah.
What did you love that she said?
So one thing she threw out there, which it's kind of a mantra that I've said for years and years, similar to what she said. She said consistency with action is one of the most life-changing things ever. And I couldn't agree more. Consistent and persistent. That's my mantra. Mm-hmm. Consistent and persistent. Because when you are consistent over and over again, you will move the ball forward. And I just thought that was she kind of snuck it in there, but I didn't really dig into it too much during your interview. But I think that it is something that we can like put over the door frame, into your office, and just remember that people don't find you overnight. Things don't change overnight. Progress doesn't happen overnight. It's that I think the overnight success that took 10 years, right? That's the running joke for people who quote unquote made it. It's like this one hit wonder kind of a thing, and they're like, no, I've been doing this for 20 years. You just finally discovered me.
I do think this, like when the media goes this overnight success, they are discounting the blood, sweat, and tears it took for someone to get there. And I hope we stop saying that. I'm going to stop saying that someone call me out on it if I do, because it is, even like right now, somebody mentioned like, oh, all these things are happening all at the same time. And it's like, yeah, because for 7 years, I have been putting in the relationship value. I've been adding value. I've been staying connected. I've been supporting. And so, yes, right now we have an abundance amount of opportunities with OPC that we never have had before. And it is not because all of a sudden, overnight, someone just saw a post and was like, oh, this is the girl that we need to connect with. No, it's been a long time.
Yeah. So anyway, consistent and persistent consistency with action is one of the most life-changing things ever. So
I think I just want to underline the with action, because you are probably more consistent than you think. You're consistently scrolling on Instagram, or you're consistently watching TV.
Talking about habits again.
And so I know I'm behind my habits for a long time. I'm obsessed with this ish. Okay, but consistency with action. So it is. And that's hard. It's hard to take action consistently because action is scary. Action is hard. You can be rejected. But it also gets easier when you do that. So I actually think that if you're listening to this, you are a very consistent person, because humans are just consistent. But ask yourself if it's with action.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the beit action items that you dug into with Christina. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items could we take away from your convo? This was really amazing, because after this entire episode of all these great points that she was making and these nuggets of wisdom in there, then you got to the beit action items, and it was like a whole second episode could have happened right there. And I was like, whoa.
I know.
Okay, so
but this is why she is who she is, because like she's like, okay, this is like, I live in this moment. Yeah,
I'm just gonna rattle down kind of like she said, people say they have their priorities, but if they were real with themselves, their actions are out of alignment, right? So what her example was my husband is priority number 1, my kids are priority number 2, like my job's priority number 3. And she's like, but if you actually looked at it, you spend 15 minutes a day with your husband, maybe you hang out with your kids for 2 hours on Saturday, and then your job is really where all of your time goes, and your mental thinking and everything like that, right? So she's like, we tell ourselves one thing, but our actions, belie that. And then she went on to another step, and she said, we are the sum of the people we hang out with, right? So who do we surround ourselves with? And she said, chances are, if you say that, eating well is important to you, that's a priority for you, but the people you surround yourself with are, going to be not eating well, you're going to be next in line, is generally what's going to happen.
Yep.
Because we are influenced by the people that we surround ourselves with. And then she said, what you obsess with is
what you obsess with, you become most.
Yeah. What you obsess about is what you become, right? So, imagine a child who obsessed about being, a dancer on stage at the age of 5. If they obsess with that and continue, chances are they're going to turn into that. They're going to become that, right? Well, if we obsess about television, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna become a television.
We're gonna become a sofa. And then lastly, she said, all this was like consecutively in the interview. She said, put a boundary around your life and protect, who you hang out with, where you spend your time, what you're doing. Give yourself the space to have the actions that will allow you to live up to those priorities that we're telling ourselves. And I was just like, all this came out in like one long, massive paragraph, that she was monologue basically. And I was like, wow.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Well, I love all these. And here's what, I know people listen to this like, okay, yes. And then even though this is the beit, that I have to say, I can see you going, yes. And then going, how? And I just want to say, that's what I'm going to talk about on my free webinar. There's a shameless plug. So get on that huntwithme.com waitlist, because it is your habits and routines, the things you obsess about, all of this stuff shows yourself what is a priority in your life. And if you are looking around at all the people you surround yourself with and the foods you eat and the things that you do that you wish you weren't doing, you can't break a habit actually, but you can unravel. And so that is all part of it. And I couldn't agree more with all of these things. I am really particular about the people I spend time with, the places I go. If the access that I have, I don't enjoy, always in a bad mood, then I'll just do it on my own. I'm really protective of my boundaries, maybe to the point that people don't like it, but it's the only way I can get stuff done that I'm here for. So,
it's definitely one thing that I admired about you when we first met, was your willingness to say no.
Oh yeah, you called one night really late, and I said, I'm in bed. Call me another day.
Yeah, really late. It was probably 9 p.m.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll look at that call log. Okay, so my biggest takeaway is, this will come to no surprise, living your purpose is your responsibility.
That's pretty, that it's definitely lights a fire under you, when you hear this. And, I've heard this before where, I know Chris Harder talks about this, where making money is actually a responsibility.
Yeah.
Living your purpose is, Christina is saying, living your purpose is your responsibility. It's a very interesting concept to conceptualize, to think about. We are here on this planet for a reason.
Yeah.
And we need to figure out what that reason is, and then we need to go do it.
Well, there's all the studies on how each person is so unique. We're all snowflakes. So if none of us are duplicates, then obviously there's a reason you're here. There's this one podcast host who likes to talk about the chances of you being the sperm that was entered the egg is 1 in X amount of millions. And so you can't be a mistake. You are here for a reason. And so there's a purpose in you that is here on this planet. And it is so easy for us to say, well, this person is in my way, or if only this happened, then I could do it, or well, I need this and that's why I can't do it. It's so easy for us to put the reason that we're not living in purpose on something or someone else. But when you take responsibility for living in your purpose, then you can actually make your purpose a priority and have your actions be in alignment, you can actually make sure you would actually surround yourself with the people who help support your purpose. You would obsess about your purpose and you put a boundary around that purpose. Just to recap all those be it action items. And Daniel Pink, who, gosh, someday I hope I get to meet this man. He said, if what you do solves someone's problem, you have a moral obligation to sell it to them. A moral obligation to sell it to them.
Exactly.
And so I know when you're listening to this, not all of you are business people or entrepreneurs, but you have a purpose on this planet.
Yeah, it's not even about selling or whatever. I mean, it could be teaching, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're a teacher and that's what you do. Showing up and being the best possible teacher you can be, that's your responsibility because you are impacting lives, and whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, like whether you are, running a company or working for a company, regardless, it's a responsibility to be, living your purpose.
Yep. It's what's going to make the world a better place. Well, all right, everyone. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful you're here. How are you going to use these tips in your life? I'm telling you, we want to know. You cannot DM too many takeaways and you cannot share this too much. It is so fun when I see those posts that you're sharing in your stories, you're sharing in your feed, and you're tagging us and you're sharing it because it literally lights a fire and it makes me want to do this even more. It makes me want to do more episodes each week. So send us a DM to the Beit Pod on IG and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
Kevin and Belle at Disenyo handle all of our audio editing and some social media content.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jaira Mondal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Pedroso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And the Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.